So David Jones loses a chairman and 2 directors. I'm joined by Stephen Bartholomeusz from Business Spectator. Stephen, this is an interesting political dynamic going on here because there's institutional shareholders on one side who are trying to crack the board, who are fans of Zara, and the other side was the board which was trying to get Zara out. What's happening?
It's not so much the board's trying to get Zara out. If you remember, Paul Zara actually retired last year, saying that he was fatigued and needed a rest and a break and new challenges. There was always been suggestions that related more to tensions between Zara and the board, and that he resigned in kind of petulance. The institutional shareholders of David Jones ever since have been trying to put pressure on the board to keep Zara, and there's been a concerted campaign against the board and Chairman Peter Mason. The leverage they had, or they seized on, was the trading by 2 of the non-executive directors, Steve Bartholomeusz and Lee Clapham, back in October, just ahead of the first quarter sales results. And the ASIC has looked at it and said it wasn't insider trading. Probably not the best corporate practice, that close to an announcement of some significance. Materiality being in the eye of the beholder. That campaign got another burst when it became apparent that Myer had approached David Jones about a merger the day before those share trades took place. The share trades, by the way, were approved by Peter Mason, the chairman. And so the institutional campaign ratcheted up again, and finally they've cracked the board. So Peter Mason, the chairman, said he will go within 3 months. Steve Bartholomeusz has gone straight away, and Lee Clapham said he'll also go within 3 months. That's half the non-executives. So one would think that the institutions believe now that they've prevailed, and there'll be another push to keep Zara on. And we don't know what the new board will do about that, whether they'll continue the search for a new CEO or whether they'll install Zara, which to me would be bad corporate practice. And the CEO has resigned, you don't bring him back.
This is hardly a win for the institutions. I mean, if you destabilise a board by that much and you end up having a company which is effectively rudderless, you're looking at a pretty poor share price for a while to come, aren't you?
I'm not sure about the share price, because there was so much dissatisfaction with the kind of the tensions within the company. This might actually be seen as a positive, that this internecine war has kind of ended. The other kind of strain to the way the market will respond to it is that Peter Mason dismissed the Myer approach within 24 hours. The board dismissed the Myer approach within 24 hours. Basically didn't consider it, just said, not for us. Myer, of course, released the detail of that proposal, and some of the institutions would like David Jones to consider it more seriously. It's now possible for Myer to retable a proposal. It'll have to be revised because the share price relativities have moved. But it's possible that Myer could retable a proposal, or that someone else might look at David Jones and say, well, they've only got half a board, they've got no permanent CEO, now's the time to have a crack at them, because private equity loves retail, and of course you've got Solomon Lew and former David Jones CEO Mark McInnes sitting on the sidelines with a lot of cash and no debt. And I'm no doubt they'd be having a close look at it, whether they decide to spend the money on it's another issue.
So David Jones weakened. I mean, would it actually be now a takeover target, do you think?
Oh, look, I think from the moment Myer put that proposal forward, David Jones was in play to a degree. The thing about the Myer proposal, it was a merger of equals, so it actually requires David Jones to embrace it, and of course they didn't. Now, whether a new board would have a different view, or whether the instability there attracts others, I think is the kind of the interesting question that we're going to get answered in the next month or two.
Stephen Bartholomeusz, thank you very much.